So we are writing this A. So I'm writing this value. So A is equals to DXC above batch. And when I say write A, that will be typed here. So we have this write A. So A of 10 type C, A is equals to DXC above batch and write A. So now if we execute, we'll get that output. Now if you observe DXC above batch, BATCH is missing. And why is it missing? Because we have given the length as 10. So it should be length as somewhere around 20. Then if you execute this, we have DXC above batch, write A. So write A in the sense like that will be typed there, write A. Okay. So now we'll go with data type as C, N. So B of 10 type N. So B is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we say write A. Here we can say write B. So as I told you, whether you write it in lowercase or uppercase, it will still have the same meaning. And whatever you see in the blue color is SAP syntax, and whatever you see in the black are the variables that we have. So write B. Now these two things can be clubbed into one statement. Okay. So I am commenting this, and to comment this, we just need to type control lesser than. So when you say control lesser than, all those lines which we have selected will be added up with preceded with star. So if any line is preceded with star, it means it's a comment. It's assumed that as it's a comment. So now if you, let's say, if I select it all, if I select this now and uncomment, then for control greater than, if you type control greater than, if you just type control greater than on your keyboard, this will be uncommented, and control lesser than will be commented. Now the same thing can be written something like this: write colon A comma B. It's not mandatory that you have to write B underneath this. You can also write beside this, but the only thing is, if you write underneath, it will be more clear for us to understand the program. For easy understanding, we are just writing like that, but that can be written beside that also. Okay, so this is what we have. Write A comma B. So this things can be written in the right statement. Okay, so now let's see the output. And why did I write slash here is slash will enable that output in the next line. So this is coming next. But if you observe here, let's say you have this numeric. In numeric, if let's say we have 6 numbers have been given here, the entire number that we gave for B is 6-digit number, but the length here is 10. So all the remaining digits will be preceded with 0. So So you'll get 4 zeros in the front, and then the actual number will come there. Okay, now let's go ahead with integer. For integer, you don't have to give the length. E type I. E type I. E type I. So when you say E type I, you don't have to give the length. Default length will be 9. So if I give the E is equals to, you need to give the space. E is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now minus symbol. So I mean, like integers, as you already know, it will entertain positive and negative numbers. Integer will entertain positive and negative numbers. So that's the reason we are giving it like that. And for integer, we are not giving the length. For integer, you just check this out. Integer, we are not giving any length. Yeah. Okay. So what is the use of slashes? Slash enables us to get the data in the next line. So if let's say A is, what will happen if I don't give the slash? Let us see the output first. Now, if A and B are there, so this is A value, this is B value. Where is the B value coming? B value is coming just beside it. But you don't want like that. You want it in the next line. Then you have to type the slash here. Okay. So we have here data type and length. Okay. So let's repeat what we discussed till now. So we had the introduction for ABAP program, what we have already done. Data types and data objects is what we are discussing now, and we are discussing specifically about the elementary data types. Now, in data types, we'll have two types of data types. One is system defined or predefined, and user defined. In system defined, again we'll have elementary data types, structure data types, elementary and structure data types in user defined as well. Now, in elementary data types, we'll have character, numeric, integer, date, tag, float, date, time, and hexadecimal. So this is how these are the SAP standard data types. Okay, these are the SAP standard data types. So you all are clear with what are data types? Clear with what are data types? I'm not asking about other things that I've explained in the system. These data types. Is there anything that you have doubt on the screen? If you have any doubt on the screen, then let me know.
Sir, what is packed?
What is
Packed and numeric?
packed? You mean to say packed?
Sir, data type P.
Okay, you are asking for data type what?
Sir, packed.
Yeah. I'll explain you about that. I have not explained you, so I will explain you about that.
Okay.
And default length of integer will be 9. So and we can extend it for long integer. We can go for long integer. Okay, Ish is saying clear with the three data types. First three data types. Okay. So first three data types I'll again explain you, but till here, till on the screen, what you see is everyone clear. Okay. So you have see we need to understand what is it. But do you understand these are the data types? Elementary data types. What are elementary data types? You understand, right? Okay. These are something from which we can copy the properties. What is packed? What is float? And all these things I'll explain you for sure. Next coming the next talk. Okay. Now In character, we can define in two ways, like either a of 5 type C, or you can say a of 5. That's it. You can declare a data B, and the length will be 1, type will be character. So as we discussed in the theoretically, so as we discussed on the system, so a data a of 5 and data B both can be combined into a single declaration. We can just say data colon a of 5 comma B. We are not mentioning the type, so default type will be character. Default type will be character, and default length would be 1. And a is equals to abcd or b is equals to a. We are assigning the values here. And then we have move abcd to a, move a to b. Either way we can do it. So data a of 5 value abcd, b value a. So both the things that we have here, a of 5 value abcd, b value a. Now here numeric text data, in numeric text you have to mention the length, and default length will be 1. So this is the way we have, and we can also assign the value just in the declaration part itself instead of going for the next line. But SAP prefers to go declare it at the as a different value. So what SAP says is, if you have assigning the value and declaring the value to a different commands, so you have to put both of them in a different line. Okay, a of 3 type n and a is equals to 1 to 3. Data b of 6 type n value 50029. These are the things. So either we can define it like this, or we can define it like this. C of 3 type n value 123. So you can define it like that. And we are assigning the values also just beside in the declaration part, which, as I told you, it's not recommendable, but it's something which we can do. Yes, Manjunath, for every command that we have to put a full stop. But we need to understand where to put the full stop and where to put the comma. Just like in English grammar, so if it is a continuation declaration, then you have to put a comma. But if it's something which is which is completing there, then you have to put a full stop there. So move 1 to 3 to E. So we can write A is equals to 1 to 3, or move 1 to 3 to E. So as we discussed, integer maximum length is 9, and it can entertain positive and negative numbers. A is equals to 1 to 5. You can put a minus, and the minus symbol, either you keep it in the front of the number or at the end of the number. In the output, it will be at the end of the number only. In the output, it will come in the end of the number only. Packed. In packed, packed, we need to define the decimals. Okay, let me tell you float first. Float will entertain decimal values. Okay, semicolon is not compulsory, Naveen. Where did we keep the semicolon here? Colon, we have kept the colon. If we are declaring multiple things, we are declaring colon here. Semicolon will come in that in SQL command. Yes, Santosh.
Sir, in the int data type, you told that we can take the negative values, right?
Yeah, in the integer.
So if we mention the minus sign, so will it take the space of that? Like if we give 10 as the length of that
Yes,
data type,
yes.
and if we give, if we,
Yeah, it will take the space of it. Yeah, it will take the space of it.
okay, okay, sir, okay.
Yeah. So Naveen, you have to give colon compulsory, colon not semicolon, colon. Uh, so colon compulsory if you are declaring multiple variables.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, that was my question, sir, actually, but I typed it wrongly.
Okay. So yeah. So Pavan, can't we change the size of the integer data type? Yes, we can change. We can keep long integer. There is something called long integer. So if you have a longer integer, you can better go for long integer. How do we declare that? Also, we'll discuss. For numeric values, it is not important. For numeric values, it's not important because number it is taken as a normal variable only, but rest of all the things are taken as a string. So we have to give it as a string. We have to put inverted quotes. Only if you put inverted quotes, it will work for strings. So whenever you put inverted quotes, it means that it's a string. So it is important if you have to put a inverted quotes for the strings. So now this decimal values are taken as a string. So we have to put as inverted quotes here. Yeah, Karthik is asking for strength length is not necessary. Yes, we are going to mention strings here separately. Uh, if you are exclusively mentioning some field as a string, you don't have to give the length. That also we'll discuss. Okay. So as of now, we are discussing the elementary data types, right? In elementary data types, we have to declare it with length and all. We have fixed lengths and all. But in strings, yes, you are right. You'll get a variable length. Okay, so in float we can have decimals after the point or before the point, 9 numbers. So up to 9 numbers it can entertain, and if you have more than that also it will entertain, but in a long float. So here the the number, if it's a longer number after decimal, if you have long length, then you have to mention it as a what you call exponent of 10. So we normally mention it as the exponent of 10. Yeah, Santosh is asking if we take same name as a variable, what will happen? Means what Santosh is asking is, you want to declare data f type f. Yeah, it's okay. You can mention. System will accept it. No error will be found. But we will get confused whether we are mentioning this one or that one. So we will get confused. That's the reason we are not taking. But system will accept it. Okay, system will accept it, Santosh. No problem. Okay, so move 123.45 to E. Meghna is asking A of 5 is same as A. No, A of 5 is not same as A because A is having the length of 1, but A of 5 is having length of 5. So the length of that variable or the length of the field is defined by A. So here I come back to the first one. What Meghna is asking is, so this I'm mentioning A of 5 and B. Are these both same? No. B will have the by default length as 1 and A will have the default length as 5. That's the difference here. But both are characters. In this case, in this particular case,
Sir,
both are
you
characters.
previously you mentioned the default length is 9 now, sir.
For integer.
For integer, for character, default length is 1.
1. For character and numeric. We'll also add a negative symbol here in integer and see the output. We'll see that. So we have gone for the decimals. So in decimals, how many decimal values we are going to give after the point it will take. But in fact, it will take only that many decimals to which you round off. So it's basically something like, if you have a lot of calculations, after the calculations you have the amount coming like this: 10,555 rupees, 23562 paise. So if you have 23562 paise, it will not be good enough to create a invoice. So you have to round it off. You have to round it off to some value. So if you want to round it off and you want to put it for some particular number of decimals, you can maintain the packed. So you can say in packed, you're going to define how many decimals should be displayed after the point. And if you have more than that decimal points, then what will happen is, like, if it is more than 5, it will increment this number. If it is less than 5, it will ignore that number. That's called arithmetic rounding off, right? So arithmetic rounding off will be done in the packed one. So packed is same as float. Packed is same as float only. But the only thing is, here we are fixing up the decimals. In float, we are not fixing up the decimals. That's the main difference. In packed, we are fixing up the decimals. In float, we are not fixing up the decimals. Yes, Pragya is asking, for single statement colon is not mandatory, right? Yes, for single statement colon is not mandatory. It will not ask you for the colon.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Yeah, Karthik.
sir, for float, data, A of, is there anything we have to mention for float, sir? Like A of 10, float F, like that?
Sorry, for A of?
So, A of 10, float F.
Okay.
So then next line A is equal to, so some 5 values, sir. Afterwards 5 values, point something values.
Okay.
Sir, like length is necessary for float, sir.
For float, not necessary. For float, length is not necessary. Length is necessary only for two things: character and numeric.
Okay, sir.
Length is necessary for character and numeric. Okay. Now here we have this time. So time, we'll be mentioning the time as hours, minutes, and seconds. So the time will be typed as hours, minutes, and seconds. HHMM is this: hours, minutes, and seconds.
So what about date?
Date, okay, okay. Date is important actually. Date will be, see, when you are giving to the, when you are giving the date to the system, when we are assigning it, by default, when we say any variable is of type date, by default it will take it as a YYMMDD. So date format will be like this. Okay, so here for date format, for date, the date will be by default in the form of YYY So when we define something like, let's say we have dat type D, dat type D, when you define dat type D, dat is equals to some 2011-0101. So this is something which we have. It's like YYYY format. So we are giving the system in that format, but when we say write D, write date, write that, it will be write that, it will be typing it in the GUI format. It will convert it into GUI format and display it. Means it will change the format into according to our GUI settings. GUI is graphical user interface settings. So it will be like, let's say if you have in India, we'll have DD YY format, right? So it will be showing up like that. But if you have set your GUI as US format, DD YYYY format will come. This is how it will happen. Okay. Now let's see that now. Let us see the output of integer. So we have minus symbol at the last. Now here we cannot, if we remove it and we can put it in the front, even if we keep it in the front, it will still take the minus symbol at the last. It will show you the minus symbol at the last. Okay. 9. Minus minus is coming still at the last. Okay. So now when you say when you have a integer with a longer length, so this error will come. So this error will come. So this minus is a overflow. Okay, this integer value is overflowing the actual length. So the actual length is not more than 9. Okay, so I mean, like whenever we have a number longer than 9 characters, it has to be taken care in the long integer. Yes. So someone asked me, like, the minus symbol, is it going to calculate the length or not? So without minus symbol, it will be entertaining nine characters. Okay, 9 digits. Okay, and we understood that whether the minus symbol is at the beginning or at the last, it will still take it at the last, or it will be still at the last. So let's go for date now. So let's say we have G type D. So it's a date. So date should be given, as we discussed, date should be given in the form of YYYY MMDD. So we'll give 2020 and the month is something like 11 month. Date is 01. So what is the date? 01. What is the month? 11. What is the year? Why. I mean like 2020. So select it, activate it. Oh, I just need to make this as G. So the 01 is coming at the beginning, and 11 is coming after that, and 2020 is coming after that. So it is coming in the format of DD, MM, YY. Of course, you might have a question that, what if I want, what if I want it in a with slash or a hyphen? We can do it as well. Later we can do it. We'll see how it can be done. So we have to change the format, or parser or alpha routine or something like that. We can do it. But as of now, it is set as uh, a date, month, and year. That's how it is coming. Now, so while giving, in which format are we giving the date? In which format are we giving the date? YYYY MMDD. We are giving in the format of YYMMDD4. But how is it getting displayed? The display is in the form of DD YYYY. This is what they are. Fine. So we'll go ahead with this, and then we'll go for time. Time is pretty simple. I'll go for M, type T, type T. So when I say, even while assigning the value, it will be hours, minutes, and seconds, and even after getting the output also, it will be hours, minutes, and seconds. So this is like hours, minutes, and seconds. So in time there will not be any manipulation. Just in date we had a manipulation, right? You are giving in the YYMMDD format, but we are getting in the DDMMYY format. So, but in hours, minutes, and seconds, the time it will be exactly the same. Even in the output also exactly the same. So this is hours, minutes, and seconds. No change.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what happened will be give in the form of DDMMYYY, sir, in the input only?
It will not take. By default, it will take in that format only.
So this is it is mandatory to give in the form of YMD.
Yes. If it is mandatory for us to give,
Then it will.
If we have to accept,
Then in output we will.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Tell, sir.
Yeah. In the output, we will be getting in the format as we want. But while giving it to the system, it will be YYMMDD format only.
Okay, sir.
And the next question normally we all might get is like, what if I give that in the MMDD MMDD format? If you give it in the MMDD format, if you give it in the MMDD format, we have to change it to YYMMDD format. We have to change it. We have to change it to YYMMDD format, then we have to assign it. That's how we have. While assigning to the system, we have to change it to YYMMDD format. No, Vimaragada is also asking the same thing. If what is asking is like, if I give MMDD YY format, I mean input, if you are giving to the system in the MMDD YY format, it will not work, because the input will always be taken in the format of YYY MMDD format. It will not entertain this MMDD YY format. Yeah, output you can change. We will have this system select settings. According to system settings, we can change the output. Input we always have to give it like this only. Now we'll go for float. So if V is a float, V is a float, right? So float means it will be like it can entertain the decimal values, and it can entertain decimal values before the point, after the point, 9 digits. Up to 9 digits we can entertain. So if we have more than that, we have long float. Just like we have long integer, we have long float. But these are the basic elementary data types. Those are the extended data types. Okay, so we have this. So now when we say decimals to k is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, what will happen in arithmetic rounding of you have studied in the school? So if it's 6 more than 5, this will become 6. This 6 is more than 5, so it will become 5. 5 again it will come here as 3, and then it will still remain as 2. So output will remain only as 1234.12. You have 1234.5.12, only 12. So let's say we make this as 8. Then what will happen? Automatically it will become 1 3. So this will become 1 3. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4.13. This is so
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, how did it become 1-3, sir?
By arithmetic rounding off. You remember you have studied it in 5th class or 6th class. If you are rounding off the decimals, if the last number is more than 5, the previous number will increase by 1. So if you are removing this 5, then this will become 6.
Sir, I thought it was 1, 2, 3. You changed it. I didn't see. Okay, sir.
No. Actually, it's 1 to 8, right? So when we are rounding off, because this 8 is more than 5, it becomes 1 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay.
Fine. So I change it. Okay. Now here we have decimals, float, date, time, packed, and one last thing that we have is hexadecimal. Hexadecimal is of base 16. Base 16, hexadecimal
Sir,
base 16. Yeah.
sir, in the float, it's changing to exponential.
Yeah.
That we have not mentioned it also.
By default, it takes like that. By default, it will go into the exponential form. But if you don't want that, we have to pass some alpha routines and make sure that it is been displayed in the normal format. But by default, it takes it as in the exponential form only.
Okay, sir.
Previously, in the old versions, it was not like that. We used to directly show you, but in the latest versions, all latest versions, by default, it is going into exponential form. Okay. And if you want to change the exponential form to normal form, again, we have to use some logic. We have to use a function module, and we have to pass this value. According to that, you will get that. So that's something which we can do later. Then we have hexadecimal. So hexadecimal is of base 16. Hexadecimal is of base 16. So in the hexadecimal, what will happen? We will be writing any number into base 16 format. So I hope this is also school time mathematics, wherein we converted everything into new binary language. I mean, like, if there is 10 you divide by 2, and it will all be converted to ones and zeros, right? Similarly, you also learned about hexadecimal, wherein you have to divide the number with 16, and whatever number comes, that number will be the base 16. So for example, 64 base 10 is equals to 40 base 16. Okay, because you have to divide it by 1, divide it by 16, and then we'll get this. This is what we have. So hexadecimal, we rarely use it in the real-time projects. We rarely use in the real-time project. Okay, so we'll I mean, like, if at all in the coming projects, when, if at all if we come across the hexadecimal, we might have to discuss more in detail about it. But as of now, you just understand it, it's base 16. That's a number with base 16. Fine. We'll take a quick 10 minutes break, and we'll rejoin. So it's 4:20, 4:30 we'll join. Okay, so Manjunatha was asking me, hexa, we use ABC after 9, right? Yes. So we write till A, B, C, D, E, F. So
Sir, Exa is not taking, sir.
it's not taking. What
No,
did
sir.
you give type as?
Sir, type X. Hello.
What type did you give?
X, sir.
Okay, so yeah, so we all got a good news that you all can log in with your own IDs now, and all the access key, the developer key has been assigned to your all IDs, so you can assign with your own IDs. So with your login IDs, so you can try it out meanwhile. So by that time, I'll complete this concept. Okay, so why it's not taking hexadecimal? Let me just check. Server is slow, I guess. Server is very slow.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, this is Manjunath, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
you told that we can use ABC after 9, no, sir, in hexadecimal.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, it may take as a character, no, sir. Next, if you use ABC in hex also.
No. Once you mention it as a hexadecimal, it will not understand that it is a number. Because you are mentioning that as a hexadecimal, it will not consider it as a character. It will take it as a number only.
Sir, you are using X right now, sir. So that
Yes.
okay, sir. Thanks, sir.